Hey, if you clicked on this video, there is a good chance that either you are a coach's kid or you are a parent that coaches your kid. Either way, I'm going to give you some information that was very helpful to me. I was a coach's kid for about 6.5 years. And there were some great things that I learned. But if it's your first time here, I'm Coach Jay. This is the Champions Pedigree, where it is all about mental toughness for young athletes. I'm out for a stroll today. Weather is pretty nice, man, but it's pretty windy. So if the background noise, if you hear it, is windy. So just know that going forward. But so like I said, I was a coach's kid, and man, there are lots of life lessons being a coach's kid. So first, let me talk to you. If you are a coach's kid, if your dad or mom coaches your team, first of all, I've been there. I know what it's like. I know the amount of pressure that puts on you. Not maybe always fun, and that's okay. But it's going to be so. It can be so beneficial to you, your parent, and your team. The first thing that helped me was this. I had to make the distinction between parent and coach. So when we first started our team, my dad was the coach, and to that point, only knew him as Dad, Pops. And the first practice, he was trying to explain a drill that we were supposed to do, and I said, "Dad," and he looked at me like, "Why would you call me that?" And immediately after that practice, we sat down and had a conversation and said, "Look, when we're in the gym, on the court, in practice, it's coach. Outside of this, I'm your dad." And I had to work really hard at that distinction. But once I finally embraced that and was able to look at him in a different light, to know him only as coach, it made a difference in our relationship, but it made a difference for the team as well. So the first thing I would say is make that distinction. When you are on the field, when you're in the game, when you're training, when you're practicing, it's not mom, it's not dad, it's coach, whoever. So, but the number one thing, let me get to the problem. The number one thing is that if you do not embrace that role, let me just tell you this. You are the leader on the team. You may not be the most skilled, you may not be the most popular, but you are the leader on that team. Everyone is looking at you, looking to you, because you're going to help set that tone. And if you don't do it, if you don't embrace the role as leader on a team, a couple things can happen. There can be a lack of accountability. There can be a lack of commitment. Because everyone is looking at you, then it's always, well, did he do it? Did Jay do it? Well, if we're supposed to be running sprints, if we're supposed to be doing conditioning, is he taking it seriously? Is he going to be committed to this? Is he going to come in early? Is he going to stay late? And so it was like they automatically would determine their commitment level based off of mine. So not embracing that role as a leader, it leaves so many things up in the air and just up in the air for someone to figure out. But since you're there, man, why not you? Another thing that can happen if you're not aware is that the team doesn't have an identity. There's almost something automatically that happens as a coach's kid that the team takes on your identity. So if your approach is, hey, I'm gonna take this seriously, I'm gonna show up early, I'm gonna show up dressed, I'm gonna be focused, I'm gonna be locked in, I'm gonna be dialed in, then the team will. But if you don't, if you slack off, the team is gonna slack off. If you say you had an argument, on the way to practice, and you're not listening to coach, there's a good chance the team is not going to listen to coach, right? The team is going to take on whatever identity that you have with the coach just because it's your parent. I remember one time in the 8th grade, we went to, it's getting warm out here now. We went to a tournament, and Pops was the only adult that went. There was about 8 of us. We went to a tournament in Orlando. Well, no, it wasn't Orlando. It was Cocoa Beach, Florida. So we took the Greyhound bus to Cocoa Beach, Florida. It's about 8 of us. And Pops was the only adult there. And I remember a lot from that trip. But one of the things that will forever stand out to me is he had to go to a coaches meeting. And since he was the only adult, we either had to go with him or we had to stay at the hotel. Now, we were about 13, 14-year-olds at the time, and Pops was like, y'all are not staying by yourselves. And so we went while he was in the meeting, and we just waited outside. People were goofing off, walking around, doing all that kind of thing. But I said, guys, it's a tournament. Why don't we just go and watch some other teams practice? Why don't we just go and do that? For one, to stay out of trouble, but for two, man, maybe we can get some competitive intel. And that's what we did, man. But I think if I would have been goofing off, if I had have said, okay, he said don't go anywhere, but I'm gonna go somewhere, right? I'm gonna go over here and talk to these girls. I'm gonna go over here and do some sightseeing, and I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna be unsupervised. Well, then the team probably would have as well, because here's what your coach wants. Your coach, here's what I believe one of the things that your coach wants you to provide. That is the coach wants their mind and their voice to be present even when they aren't. That's important because when you have a great relationship with your coach, a lot of times, whatever mindset and approach that they have, that's going to be downloaded into you. And since you're their child, you spent the most time around them, you automatically have those things. And it just can catapult your team to a really, really high level in not just the approach, but in the play and just the perspective of how they look at the game when you are when you embrace that role, and you can be the representation on and off the court, right? On and off the field. I learned how to play point guard, and so because I spent so much time with the coach, I knew what he wanted to do in each situation and when he wanted to push the ball, right? When he wanted to slow it down and work the clock. Like, I knew those things just because I had been around him so long and playing position like a quarterback or a point guard or just someone that has the ball in their hand all the time. That's what a coach wants. They may tell you that, they may not tell you that. Now, let me talk to the parents. Parents, I understand how difficult it is to make that distinction between player and my child. I have some kids, and I coached them 1 year. They're still pretty young, but I coached them 1 year, and it was extremely, extremely difficult. They played baseball, and I was coach for baseball, and I was the assistant coach. And I can't tell you how difficult it was to just look at them and only see a player, to only see, hey, let me just have the mindset where I'm here to coach the team, but these are my kids right here. But are they my kids? In that moment, they are players on the team. And so just as a parent, I understand how difficult it is, but the sooner that you can make that distinction of, hey, right now, it's just coach. Right now, I'm addressing the entire team. Right now, just like I need my team to be dialed in, I need my children to be dialed in as well. And automatically, the team looked at my kids, because I coached on 2 different teams, and they looked at my kids, and said, okay, we're going to do whatever we see them do. And it was the same thing. So we had that conversation. Hey, when we're on the field, it's coach. All right. It's coach. So here's and the last thing that I'll leave you with is this. When we were in that tournament in Orlando, I I made a poor choice. So we were getting ready to check out of the hotel, and some guys on the team they did take some things from the hotel that they did not come with. Now, I saw them do it, and against my better judgment, I took something as well. Not proud of it. Knew it was wrong, but we were in 8th grade, man. I was just trying to fit in with the team, right, and all that good stuff. And when my dad found out about it, man, he was so disappointed in the team, but mostly, I think he was disappointed in me because as a parent, he taught me as his child, come on, man, stealing is wrong. That's not what we do. That's not what our family does. We don't take things. We don't steal things. And I made that poor choice. Why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story because as a coach's kid, you still want to remember the values. You still want to remember the things that your parent has taught you, right? Those core things. Man, don't get away from those things. Remember the good. All the good things, the right from wrong, the lessons, the wisdom, take that with you. And as you look at your parent when they are in coach mode, you can't forget about all the things that your parent has taught you. So that was the only time I ever took anything. And Pop, if you see this, man, I made a bonehead play, bonehead choice. So man, I apologize again. I know it was years. I know it was a long time ago, but I know it was wrong. So the wind is really picking up here. I'm going to talk some more about this topic at another time. But until next time, I'm Coach Jay, and I am on a mission to help 10,000 young athletes grow in their capacity for mental toughness. I cannot wait to celebrate all of your success. If you are someone that wants to make that commitment, then join me while I'm on that journey, while I'm on that mission. So until next time, I'm Coach Jay, the Champions Pedigree, where it is all about mental toughness for young athletes.